I never loved the idea of networking. When I think of networking, what comes to mind is a formal event, people wearing fancy clothes, blazers and suits, and holding a drink and making small talk to strangers. And for an introvert, in case you are one, you know what I mean, this is a horror scenario. But now I'm starting to see networking a bit differently, and at least I try because I know how important it is. And to be honest, my career has benefited from the fact that I do have some really good networks. One of the networks that you already have is your current network, the people that you know from work or from university or your friends, and these are usually the first degree connections that you have on LinkedIn. And these networks are all very important, but when it comes to career, especially career prospects, even more important are the networks outside of these networks, which is the second layer of networks. Diverse networks are those kind of networks that you grow when you get involved in new kinds of activities and get to know new people, and also when a friend introduces you to their acquaintance, and these become your second and third degree connections. As we know, it's often the case that people get jobs through their connections, but more often than not, they get these jobs not from their first degree connections, but from their second, third, or sometimes even fourth degree connections. So why is this the case? The reason is because your first degree connections usually have the same kind of information as you. Within this first layer of networks, there is a kind of redundancy of information. And once you step outside and get connected to this second layer of connections, that is when you get access to new information about the job market and opportunities. So growing the second or even third or fourth layer of connections is what is crucial if you want to increase your career prospects. There's another good reason why you should expand your current network in a rather targeted way, of course. New networks are transformational. These new connections that you make are ideally people who are already doing what you want to do, who are already working in the field where you want to move to. It gives you access to a ton of informal information, and more often than not, this informal kind of information is what is most valuable. For example, if you want to become a dog trainer, it is a good idea to expand your network and get connected to many people who are already in that field, who are already training dogs, because by doing that, it will be much easier for you to follow in their footsteps and learn from their experiences. Do you know those kind of people who seem to be super agile? They change jobs and they get a lot of promotions and they make a lot of progress in seemingly short time. But on the other hand, they don't always seem to be the most intelligent people. If you take a closer look, what these kind of people have that others don't is a wide and strong network and access to a lot of opportunities. And for those of us who are perhaps on the slower side and less flexible, we wonder how in the world are they capable of doing it. It's only in these recent years that I began to appreciate that the skill of building networks is a really valuable skill that cannot be underestimated. I would even say that the skill to build and grow networks and the ability to access and really make use of the opportunities within that network is a skill that is almost as valuable, if not more valuable, than the core skill itself. And this is also the reason why I think that oftentimes, or even most of the times, it's not the smartest people who are most successful.